have launched a upgrade to our DayTrader service, but I'm going to take a quick step back. At askSlim, we provide professional technical analysis, trade planning tools, and education for various trading styles. And we do have now a separate service to support day traders. So what we're focused on today in this segment is our limited time, very special offer for the DayTrader service, which we have recently rolled out. So that came out here on just about 10 days ago. On March 11th, we launched our 2.0 version, and we have more features and upgrades and enhancements coming to that. But this is a marvelous collection of tools and resources for the day trader. And I'm going to step through some of that here, and Slim's going to join me as well. But really what we want to make sure that as traders, so that we can trade effectively, is we have to be able to answer a few key questions. And that is, number one, it's just very similar to what we just talked about in our trade planning segment. What's that directional bias? But we also want, especially as day traders, because time is of the essence, we need to be able to distinguish between the directional bias indicators and then indicators that are designed to gauge the strength and the sustainability of a price trend or momentum trend. So that's key. And then third, what are the signals or indicators that suggest to you that a trade is a go, right? Your entries. And then what are the signals or indicators that suggest to you, or what's your process to determine your exits? So this is why we say we have that essential collection of tools and resources for the day traders, because we're bringing you the information, the indicators, the education, so that you can answer those key questions. Again, directional bias, what is that strength and sustainability of the price trend? What indicators suggest your trade is a go, or how do you know when you want to enter something? And also determining that exit. So we have an impulse monitor, which is designed to gauge that directional component and also the strength and sustainability of a price trend. So that is monitoring all throughout the session. That is an independent application that you can use with your own setup. And also, you'll see here in a second, we combine that into our DayTrader Cockpit, but you can use this application completely separate. And again, I'm going to show that in a minute. And then we also have our 8-minute strategy grid. So Slim selected his favorite strategy grid to help with that key question around, how do I know when to enter and how do I know when to exit? Now, we're not telling you when to enter and when to exit. What we're doing is showing you our style, our tools, our strategy that we use, that we have found to be successful as a benchmark for you to work off of. And the key point here is that what we're looking for are alignments in these shorter duration timeframes. So we have a broader perspective that we use with the impulse monitor to give you a bigger picture of that dominant directional bias, plus when there are conditions that are favorable for a larger impulse to unfold. Then what we want to look at is, when do I have alignments in those shorter duration timeframes that would suggest that an entry is in alignment, that the time is now that matches up, let's say, a bullish condition in the broader degree of trend with then a smaller degree for an entry opportunity. And also this grid helps with that exit. When we have what's called a signal line, and that lets us know that likely that energy from that shorter duration time frame is ending, and that can give you a sense of a potential exit. So we have a strategy condition along with our strategy grid to give you a real inside transparent look at what we're finding when we're determining these entries, these exits, and the larger degree trends that are in place. Furthermore, this third piece here, we have a price zone roadmap, where we are pre-market determining, looking at where those key price levels are, zones are on the upside, the downside. And then you can see these yellow zones. These are meant to be acceleration zones. So these are areas where we have identified likely price voids or vacuums. And when you combine that with the other indicators and you have alignments in all of them, you have very high probability opportunities for those continuations to happen and to be able to generate a profit. Because ultimately the goal is you want to be on the right side, right? So that's why we focus on directional bias, but you also want to be on that right side for a longer ride, because that's what's going to give that win-loss ratio the right numbers to make you more profitable. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over and I'm going to give you a peek here of some of these services. So I'm going to show you the DayTrader dashboard here. So on the DayTrader dashboard, we have, as I mentioned before, that impulse monitor. And I'm going to pull an example of that over here right now. So this is live right now. This is our impulse monitor. And we have two different views. So we have the impulse condition or the overall bias, which I've described, and it lets you know when that broader energetic inertia in the market is either on or off, and then also when it's neutral. So you have a very clear sense by the coloring of the outputs when something is neutral in terms of the overall condition, and then when you have a more negative condition that is occurring. And right now you can see that we have an impulse on in both the IWM and DIA, so the diamonds, and also a turbo feature that has turned on. This is a new feature. I'll describe that in just a second. And then we have a change log that is indicating when these changes occur. But we have a new view here also. We call it all. And this is going to share with you a new set of about 20 symbols that we've added. So we did a poll, a survey with our members, and they indicated to us other stocks that they day trade and that they would love to see the impulse monitor on or showing its overall condition for. And you can see the awesome variety that we've brought into this mix here. It's a fantastic, again, variety of symbols, really giving you an opportunity to find those that are in the condition that you're looking for day trading. And you have that view all throughout the market session. So we have just a simple index view, so that clean index view, and then also you can look at that all view to get all those additional symbols. So that is the impulse monitor application. Okay, some of the other services that come with the DayTrader is our Cockpit. And I'm going to show that here as part of the market replay system. So the askSlim cockpit, you think of a pilot, right? And it's got their cockpit that's got all the key tools that they need to fly that plane. It's the same with the cockpit that we've set up. It's got the impulse monitor. It's got our strategy condition icon. It's got our strategy condition chart grid and also has that roadmap in it. So I'm going to pull up our replay system. Now, this is a fantastic tool that we have included in here that gives you an opportunity to essentially go back and look at the activity. It's a replay system of the live market data that we've collected based on how our system is operating. And you have a chance here to see this. I'm just pulling it over again. So I'm going to start from the top. You can pick a day that you want to look at. Just look at the Fed day as an example here. And this is going to have contained within it every 5 minutes, we're taking a screenshot of that price action, okay? And you have an opportunity to see how our indicators are working as the market price action is developing. And this is the Fed day. Right now, you can see that you had turbo turn on in the SPY. It came on in IWM. There was an overall bullish overall conditions happening. This is the Fed day, right? Slim, was that the 20th we had? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going here. And Slim, you can jump in at any
Yeah,
time once I get into here. And I'm just going to go through this and you can sort of talk it through as you see things starting to develop.
Yeah, so what you can see is that early in the day, we had a market that was positive, and then it kind of went into the doldrums in here, but most of the stuff showing is neutral. On the impulse monitor,
one
you
little
can
dip
see
here in
that.
IWM, but it very quickly lets you know when conditions shift back.
Mm-hmm. And now here, this is key because like at this point, you can start to see that the IWM was weaker than the other indexes. QQQ and DIA were showing some strength. But again, it was just kind of choppy, moving back and forth as we get into the Fed period right over here. And you can look at the roadmap on the right, and you can see nothing is happening. We're just trading in a small range. Now, all of a sudden, the Fed news comes out and the market starts to move up. And you can see, look what happened in here. All of a sudden, it started to tell you that the conditions were right for the market to move up. and the 8-minute strategy initiated, as you can see right there. And then you can see the market started to move up through the acceleration zones very quickly. Now, if you look at the time of day that this was right over here, this was, right around the time that the Fed news came out. So if you keep advancing in here, you can see that what happened is that the market remained strong. I mean, you had a little pullback in here, but the signals were not changing in there, and it was telling you about the strength in the market. And then the strength continued. Impulse monitor telling you it's strong. The strategy staying strong right over there.
Even on that dip, Slim, you can see right in this 15-minute candle how we pulled back a good number of points in both the S&P and the NASDAQ as well as the Russell. But the impulse monitor stays on. Strategy conditions stayed positive, letting you know that overall underlying positive energy was still in the market.
Right. And one of the beauties of what the impulse monitor does, when turbo comes on, it tells you about extra energy coming into the market. Now, the way it's designed is that, you could keep the impulse monitor positive and then turbo come off and then come on again. And then it tells you about these additional surges of energy. Look what's happening there as the market is skyrocketing to the upside. And this is keeping you in your positions on the long side. I'll speak about just for a moment why this is so important. If I could just take a moment on this, the way that traders become super successful is by getting their win-loss percentage strong. In other words, you want to have more winners than you want to have losers, and you want to have your winning trades bigger than your losing trades. We always talk about the importance of getting about the winners about 1.3 times the number of the losers, and this win size about 1.3 times the size of the losing trades. So this really does a fantastic job of keeping you on the right side of the market, which is really the key. You can see in here on the roadmap on the right, I mean, it's getting into those resistance areas. It moved through those acceleration zones. This giant move that's just kept you on that long side of the market, that entire move, even in the little wiggles, it told you, nope, you still have to stay in there. So it was fantastic. Let's talk a little bit more about this, because if you're a day trader and you're struggling, a lot of the reasons day trader struggles is because they use oscillators. They think they get overbought, so they buy them when the market's weak and the market keeps going down, or they sell them when the market says it's overbought on an oscillator, but the market keeps going up. We don't use that in here. We don't use the oscillators. We use the energies of the market to help us stay on the right side. There will be days of chop when you get in and out. You don't really make any money, or you lose a little bit of money. But the other days are going to be days where you catch the big, really big trades. I talk about, and we have a lot of people that come in and kick the tires on this, and they sign up for $24.50, and then they leave in a few days because they're not giving themselves the opportunity to learn and to be able to improve their style. I say you have to make at least 50 trades in order to really see that you are adopting the best style for you, using the information in the best way. Consider this. If you take 50 trades and let's say five of them are scratches, and you have 55% winners and 33% losers, and then the rest of it is scratches, you're going to have 28 wins and 17 losses. That's where you want to get to, that kind of a percentage, 55, 56% wins, 30 to 32% losses, and then something like 10 to 12% where you scratch. And if you do that for every 50 trades, you're probably going to yield yourself between 10 and 13 positive units, whatever your size is. So again, we want to get you to have more winning trades than losers, bigger winning trades than losers. And you've got to work on this. And that's why we developed this replay system, so you can go back, you can look at this. Nobody has anything like this. I mean, with all of these great indicators, my favorite 8-minute conditions, impulse monitor, turbo, the roadmap, everything that you need to really get a feel, and you really know which are the stronger and which are the weaker indexes. All of this in there is just, in my opinion, phenomenal. And that's why we took months to develop this, and believe me, tens of thousands of dollars in order to develop what I think is really the best way for you to get market feel and develop your own style as we provide these guidelines for you. And I'm really excited about it, as you can hear.
Absolutely. And we do have a very immersive resource area that includes, we've had a number of webinars that I've hosted. Slim has done a number of training videos, so we are continuously putting new content into the resource area. And so you're not just looking at this in isolation. You have a team behind you. We have our development team that is constantly bringing new features, enhancements, refactoring things, suggestions that come from our members. So it's an extraordinary product, and it is really at an extraordinary price relative to the amount of service that you get included in it. And right now you can get it, as Slim mentioned, for $24.50 for that first month. And then because we are shifting to 2.0 here, there will be a change in the price. It will be going up, but if you come in now, you will be grandfathered in at that introductory rate of $34.95. So your first month is $24.50, and then it will go to $34.95 as long as you would stay with the service.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, that is an amazingly low price and great value for something that is just as extensive as this. You're really going to get great market feel.
All right.
So
Excellent.
$24.50. I mean, that's unbelievable. Thanks for presenting that. And any questions,
Absolutely.
they can write to team@askSlim.com, and it will get over to Matt or whoever has the right answer for you for that question.